You're a dork.
What?
You're a dork.
Why am I a dork?
Because you are. There are so many reasons.
Hi. We went last night and we saw the guys from Letterkenny, and it was a very, very entertaining show, and I came out with some swag out of it, and I'm excited, and it was fun. And it was the first time we've gone and seen a comedy show.
It was, yeah.
We've gone to a lot of concerts, but it's the first time we saw a comedy show. So it felt like a concert, kind of, sort of. But it was fun. I had a lot of fun.
It was very fun. There we go. Sorry, I was checking off.
I may have laughed harder than you do at some of the jokes.
At some of them, absolutely.
It started with Derry came out first.
Yeah.
And they're all in character the whole time.
Yes.
So Derry comes out first and he reads the rules.
Yeah.
And Squirrely Dan came out and screamed the rules, which
so
was
funny.
awesome.
It was really funny.
K. Trevor Wilson can really scream very, very well.
Yeah, he can.
He's fantastic. And then Wayne came out and made sure they had read the rules. And then they
talked about the Jovies.
And then they I will refer to them forever as the Jovies.
The Jovies.
One Bon Jovi goes over to
Jovi
the other
over to
Jovi.
the Jovi.
All the Jovies make sure that they're going to sing Living on a Prayer. So, yeah, it was funny. Which is weird because Living on a Prayer played before the 3 Days Grace concert.
Yeah.
And now we heard like a version of Living on a Prayer last night with Letterkenny. So the Jovies are following Yvonne.
It is.
Absolutely.
It's terrible.
But then
the three of them singing the beginning of it, though, was really funny.
The whole thing was funny. And they did a DMX thing that I thought was really funny, too.
That was pretty funny.
Because they were talking about how the dog bark that the DMX does is awesome. And comparing it to other animal noises.
Is.
X gonna give it to you. He's gonna give it to you. X gonna give it to you. He's gonna give it to you. First we're gonna rock, then we're gonna roll. Let it go, let it go. Because it starts off with oh, oh, which is the dog bark.
Okay.
Starts off with the dog bark. He did it a lot.
Well, I
he's
knew
awesome.
what they were talking about. I have no idea who they're talking about.
Yeah.
I have no idea what.
DMX was kind of awesome. I was never a huge rap fan, but I liked DMX. I thought he was fun.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
So it was fun watching doing all the lyrics. Funny. They're doing all the lyrics and then trying different animal noises
at the end.
Were
those real lyrics? Or
yes.
Were they okay? I couldn't tell if they were real lyrics.
Those
are
lyrics from his songs.
Stuff
those are lyrics from his songs, and they were putting in different animal noises at the end.
Cow and sheep, rooster.
Yeah, and how it doesn't have the same effect as a dog bark.
That was funny.
It was very funny. And then they went to Mark Forward, came out. He did some stand-up. This was the part of the show where I laughed so hard I was almost on the floor. And some of the jokes, Yvonne was like, I don't think I can laugh at that.
Yeah, some of his jokes were
What's
too much
the matter?
Yeah.
You worried about little Jimmy? Or whatever the name. Oh, little Kevin. Yeah. Little Kevin's not real. I made him up. And then, he was telling jokes that would get to the line, and then he'd cross the line.
Yeah,
And then the crowd would kind of groan, and he was like, I hate Vancouver. You people, he
was talking about us being vegan.
Vegans and eating your kale.
Yeah, and eat your kale.
And then he made the homeless joke, which was funny. He said I'm a little late, so stepping over all the homeless people to get here. And then they all, and he goes, what, you haven't seen them? Not like you guys care either. Just can't figure out why they don't take their tents and move them further out in the woods. I thought that was hilarious. See, and she wasn't laughing as hard as I was. I was in tears. I was laughing so hard. And he was good.
He had parts that were pretty funny. He had parts that I don't find that funny.
Oh, it was so funny. I've always liked Mark Forward. Had a couple of exchanges with him on Twitter before. He's funny. And then, so he does his stand-up thing. He's the coach from Letterkenny. And then he did his thing. He left. And then Wayne, Derry, and Squirrely Dan came back out. They did their bit. I think that was when they showed us a preview of Letterkenny.
Letterkenny, yeah.
Which is all the characters of the show, and it's an animated one, but like they're little kids. It looks like the voices are done by the actual actors.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of swearing in it.
Yeah.
So I thought it was kind of funny though.
Some of them were hard for me to hear. I couldn't understand
Yeah.
what they were saying.
Yeah, the dairy kind of mumbles.
I couldn't understand what half the jokes were. Some of them I could understand.
Yeah,
and they
it
were
was
funny,
but
half of it I couldn't even understand.
Yeah, it looked pretty good, so I'm looking forward to when that comes out.
The jokes in Letterkenny were a lot like their YouTube.
Yes. Yeah, the Letterkenny problems, which is how they started.
Yeah.
So these were Letterkenny problems.
Yeah.
And they were pretty funny. And then that was when K. Trevor Wilson came out after that.
Yeah. And he's awesome.
He did his stand-up act. And even though I knew the penis game joke,
yes,
it did not make it
before,
it did not make it
really, really funny.
Did not make it any less funny knowing that the joke was coming.
Yes.
Which is a sign of a really good comedian. When you know the joke, and with him telling it again, it was still really, really funny.
It was.
And he delivers his jokes so well.
Yeah, I really liked him.
You can picture his mother screaming. You can picture that, which
That's
you can picture a mother screaming in church.
In church? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how church goes with us, too. Knock it off!
Oh,
yeah.
The way he was telling his mother wasn't just quietly, just karate chop to the throat. Peen! Couldn't get the rest out because I got karate chopped to the throat by my mother.
Cut off the air to the windpipe.
Yeah, he was really funny. And then they threw back to them. I know we had an intermission in there somewhere too.
Yeah.
It ended up being 2 hours, including the intermission. So it started around 7. It ended around 9. It was
Which, since we usually go to either hockey games or concerts, it felt nice and short.
The only complaint I have is the hecklers.
Yes.
What the hell?
It was stupid.
Like, yeah, heckling during a performance, and I didn't even understand the point of any of it.
No.
It was just like, what, you're trying to upstage these guys up there?
Yeah.
And then Squirrely Dan shut that down pretty quick.
Yeah.
We've done 51 of these shows without you nutsacks. We don't need you now. I was like, man, that shut... And they stopped after that.
Oh, yeah.
But I had wondered,
they
too...
were embarrassed.
And I wondered, too, if the ushers had tracked them down by that point, too. Because that's kind of supposed to be an usher's job, too. Is when there's some troublemaking going on.
Yeah, maybe.
But, yeah, that was frustrating because, you know, these guys are really good at their craft. It is not an easy thing to do, to go up and do comedy in front of a bunch of people. And, you know, to have somebody out there heckling, I thought... And all I could think was, crap, you know, Vancouver has such a bad reputation to start with. We really don't need these guys leaving with, oh, that Vancouver crowd. What a bunch of, you know, anyways.
Yeah.
That was my fear at the time, but, you know, hopefully they understand that for the most part, we were there to listen to them and not try to become part of the show.
Yeah. I did wonder about the ushers. So the ushers, they're mostly ladies, older ladies.
Yes.
That work there, and they're used to seeing, like, plays and orchestras.
Yeah, absolutely.
What did they think about this? I kept thinking, I wonder what these ladies are thinking. Some of these jokes are, yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, it was pretty funny stuff. And then what I think might have been my favorite part was the surprise at the end, where they had two special guests come out at the end, and it was the actress that plays Katie and the actor that plays Stuart. And if you saw them on the street, I don't know that you'd recognize them.
Katie, you would.
She was so tiny.
She did look really tiny next to those guys.
She is like so tiny.
Yeah. And Stuart, he looks like a completely different person. But I already knew that he normally looks very different.
Yes. I'd forgotten he lived in Coquitlam too.
Yeah.
So she's from Ladysmith, he's from Coquitlam, and of course the boys are from Derry and Wayne, they're from Vancouver.
Right.
K. Trevor Wilson's from the East Coast. Oh, the one thing that was funny...
Coach is from the East Coast too, right?
Yes, I believe so, yes. The one thing that I thought was funny, and this was improv by K. Trevor Wilson, which was when he said getting Leafs tickets, and then fans in the crowd booed, and he goes, "I'll win a cup." And I thought it was absolutely amazing. Shut them right down. And he yelled it at them, and it was just great because he did not break character to do that. As Squirrely Danny yelled, "Go win a cup." I was like, man, that's amazing. That was so nice. Nice takedown. But yeah, it was a really fun show. So yeah, I would recommend, if you get a chance to see Letterkenny live and you enjoy the show, you will definitely enjoy seeing them live. Yeah, they are 100% in character the whole way through.
Except for when they do, but they make note of when they're not in character. Like K. Trevor Wilson, they introduced him as K. Trevor Wilson.
Yeah,
and they even said it's not Squirrely Dan.
Yeah,
it's K.
He
Trevor
looks like
Wilson.
He looks a lot like.
Yeah, and they
Trevor,
were like, this
Wilson.
guy backstage.
Yeah. And he took his hat off and he put a jersey over top of his overalls. Yeah. That was a fun jersey too. I think that was a geeky jersey.
I know. I said that when he came out. I was like, somebody else likes geeky jerseys.
Yeah, because he had the Ghostbusters logo, and I was like, that's a geeky jersey. Yeah, so very fun. But yeah, that was a really fun show. I really enjoyed it.
That was fun. And
yeah, perfect 10 out of 10 for me if I was going to grade a comedy show. I had no problem with it. I thought Mark Forward was absolutely hilarious. Mark Forward...
That was not my favorite
Mark Forward, I could sit down and have drinks with that guy, and that would be the most entertaining conversation I'd ever had in my life. I think that would be hilarious.
He has very similar humor to Ricky Gervais.
Yes.
Very, very similar, and you really like him.
Oh, he is hilarious.
It depends. Sometimes he's really funny. Sometimes it's too much for me.
He's always really funny.
But...
Ricky Gervais's part with Noah's Ark is absolutely top-notch, amazing, absolutely hilarious. But yeah, so really, really good show. Really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, so we're going to Vegas tomorrow. We're going to see, and I mentioned we're going to see Tape Face.
Yes.
And we'll do a review after we watch that. How
and
excellent
that is.
And
I'm hoping we'll go to other things too.
I am too. I'm just looking forward to just having a week of being tourists this time.
I know, which would include going to fun shows.
Yes. So there you go. Watch for more content on this channel this week, not just from my living room here, but from elsewhere, from Vegas. And I'm going to take you guys along for the ride with us. So, pitter patter, let's get at her. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, just tap it upon this video. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll talk to you again soon.